price increases, that you don't fix prices when subsidy has been removed and all that. There are questions over whether what the policy impact will be on the citizens. While we are analyzing that of the fuel subsidy, the Naira devaluation is here with us. Abulo Semuagu, welcome to the program.
Amechi, good morning, and good morning, listeners. Nice to be here again. Some people will say it's double jeopardy. Some will say it's double wahala for dead body. And some others will say he has his plan marshaled out before his inauguration. That is why he's doling them out in the first week in office. You remember what we said about William Ruto, that he said in the first 100 days, he wants to ensure that his policies are implemented to see the impact and the effect with the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, in the petroleum industry, there is no subsidy in diesel. There is no subsidy in kerosene. It's only fuel, which was seen as widely consumed, that had subsidy. And a subsidy is removed from fuel, raising the price, and subsidy removed from fuel. We were expecting, according to the labor, oil and gas workers, they said the price would be around 400, 450 or thereabout in the normal, the NNPC filling stations, and black market to be around 600 or thereabout. But we have seen NNPC with a price regime of 537 naira in Abuja and 488 naira in Lagos, and elsewhere 518 naira per litre, a price tag for selling of per litre. And Amechi, yesterday the fuel queue disappeared when the news filtered in that this is the new price regime by NNPC. And it goes a long way to say that the government of Tinubu is out there to ensure that his policies are implemented. The harsh ones are forced through the throats of Nigerians in these first early days in the administration, so that probably in the future there will be a kind of enjoyment, as some people will say. We want to believe, as I said yesterday, that the President Tinubu has met and he has consulted with his people in the business world, the Otedolas and the Dangotes, to arrive at such decisions. Some will say it's harsh, or they are harsh, and it shouldn't be coming now. But when best is it supposed to come? I'm not holding forth for the government at this time, because some persons, if I say I support the policy, I have the bashing I will receive. If I say I'm against the policy, I still have the bashing I will receive. But let's talk briefly on the meeting that held yesterday between Labour and the government. It was deadlock. It's all over the papers that the meeting it was not successful. And why was it not successful? Labour has a position that you didn't consult us before you went in to agree on the price tag. Before you decided to remove the subsidy, you didn't consult us. And what is the consultation about for the benefit of the listener? Consultation means what palliative do you have for workers? The salary scale is still 30 naira minimum wage. And even if salary was increased 40%, it was just for a session of workers, those in the core civil service. And other sectors have not gotten salary increase. What palliative do you have for transportation? And how many days per week should workers be working? And I'm sure those are the palliative. What Labour is putting on the table to ease. Labour meeting with government cannot bring down the price below 400.
Are you certain about that?
Yes, you cannot bring down the price.
The meeting was deadlocked yesterday.
Yes, everybody has agreed.
The NLC TUC told the government before further talks, you have to revert to status quo, that you can't increase the price, then come to us for talks. The government perhaps didn't give that promise, and so the meeting ended. Now, we don't know when the meeting will be rescheduled.
It may have been rescheduled within the week, Amici, within the week. But the criminal thing there is, even if this price is reversed, the humongous gain that these retailers have made within the window. Who is going to?
This is not the first time it will happen.
Yeah. So
almost every.
That's why I'm telling you. I'm hitting my chest to tell you that price tag will not go lower. Even if they reduce it, it will not go lower than 400 or 450. Because
you're speaking with certainty.
Yes, even though Labour.
How did you arrive at that figure? And how are you convinced that will be this?
It's not the first time. It's negotiation. We're in the Labour field, in Labour world. We understand how it works. if Labour wants a salary increase, for example, of 50,000 naira, they'll tell government they want a salary increase of 96,000 naira. And they know that there will be negotiation, give and take, and it will arrive at 50, 60,000 naira at the end of the day. They know very well what they want. When they were negotiating for 30,000 naira, they initially went for 66,000. It was 66,000 they negotiated. Later they came to 55,000, and they drag it to 30,000. So it's negotiation, and we know even the Labour are not in support of the subsidy, because everybody believes it's fraud.
There's no person now. Most Nigerians, most institutions, most groups are of the view that subsidy must go. Now, how are we going to phase out subsidy? That's the issue. Every of the candidates that ran in this presidential election agreed that the subsidy should go. The Labour, TUC, NLC, PENGAS, they have said it must go. The only problem is how the modalities, the template we are going to use. And that was what Labour was saying, that you should have, even before you unilaterally announced it, come to us so that we sit on the same table. We'll ask a lot of questions and provide answers. For instance, we'll ask, how will it affect the ordinary Nigerian? Then we'll find the answer. How do we cushion the effect? How will it affect this? The question, the answer, how do we safeguard that? They believe this didn't happen. And the president at the Eagle Square said he will consult. He will consult. And the very first decision he took, he did not consult. I don't know how he's going to explain that, but he has an opportunity going forward to use advantage of these channels to carry out consultations. They said any president that comes into office has a window of 100 days to implement the tough decisions. It appears Tinubu understands this very well. These two decisions he has taken are going to be very tough decisions, and he understands that the earlier he does it, the better for everybody, and that is the way he has gone.
Yes, Labour have been clamoring for exchange rates to be in naira, and they want the refineries to work, and they will tell you in the last 20 years, the turnaround maintenance have not really turned anything around at the refineries, the 3 refineries we have in Nigeria. And some other line of thoughts we say the government should have soft pedal and allow the Dangote refinery start operation in August before ever they pull out from the importation, the subsidy on the importation of fuel. But however, I believe Labour is representing the people, and I believe that they will push the cause of the common man, because if they don't do that, they have their families also there going to be in the same.
That's some of the arguments people are saying, not just the Dangote. Some persons have said, what about the NNPC refineries? The report out there is that some of them will come on stream by the end of this year. They are saying perhaps we should have
that is where government is at fault.
Come on stream. They have also said NNPC is the sole importer of petrol. That you can't say you have removed subsidy when it's only a monopoly that's in operation. Have you also given license and created the modality for others who are interested to begin to import fuel? The government always give us the example of the GSM. But the GSM, there were 3 companies that were in operation. There was a form of competition during that time. The third one, even fourth one, came up at some point. Was there these processes, were they exhausted and all these arrangements put in place before that announcement?
The GSM, Amici, is a form of a soft infrastructure. It's not a hard infrastructure like a refinery. One other aspect that government is not is what you just referred to, the turnaround maintenance in the refinery. I think if they tell us the stage, the level, the percentage they've gone in maintaining the Port Harcourt refinery, for example, the Warri refinery, and when it will start producing all over again, I think it will give some Nigerians a sigh of relief that yes, after all, this will be for a while. You can stay for a while, but joy cometh in the morning, as we believe in the Christendom. So I believe that the government has a lot of information they are shielding from Nigerians. You don't just hit. We are human beings. Consult us on the Naira redesign, Amici. Before the Naira design, somebody was giving an advice on how to manage the 537 Naira per liter. He said you should put your children in schools close to your house. You should learn to trek nowadays so that you keep fit, and you should patronize nearby stores so that it will not hit on you. On the devaluation of the Naira, Amici, what are the negatives in this, Amici? The negatives, I saw the Financial Street said some of the negatives is that it will increase for export and also weaken the naira in international market, and which is an obvious fact.
To make export
but the positive, government use such things to reorganize the economy. If they feel there's too much of inflation, they use devaluation of their currency to reorganize the economy. I hope they got good advice.
One thing is clear. One thing is clear, and that is the two policies will increase prices.
Definitely.
The two policies will increase inflation. The two policies will indeed, at least in the short term, all these are in the short term. What matters, what happens in the medium term and long term, it will depend on how government manages the processes. They will initially bring in problems. For instance, the devaluation of the naira, those that were enjoying the preferential treatment, access to, of course, the CBN window will no longer enjoy such. You'll be, of course, you get it at a higher price. And if you do so, then it means for those that are importing either finished goods or raw material, it will mean higher cost that will be passed on to the consumers. Some have also said that every other person has agreed, but indeed, that is the way to go. We can't operate this dual exchange rate system. There is corruption reading. The CBN allocates to those they prefer to get their allocation. As they get it, some of them walk across the CBN headquarters and go to the street in Abuja where they change it
Lagos,
with the malams and make profit without adding any productive venture. So how this works out in the medium term, long term, is what we hope to find out. But before then, let's
before the mail comes.
No, let's have the mails. Let's have the mails. Okay. When we have the mails, we'll come back and indeed we'll also share the testimonies. Eulogies continue to flow in for late founder and chairman